Senator Orrock, thank you so much for joining us today. I just want to get your quick reaction to the 2009 amended fiscal year budget passing out of the Senate yesterday.
It's tough to pass a budget and balance a budget in this economic climate. And yesterday's budget was an effort by the legislature to do the best we can with what we have. There were, for example, the public health departments have been stripped of so much money, and there was an effort to put money back in for grants to the local health departments. That's a basic place that people are going to go in a down economic time to get their fundamental health needs met, like getting your kids vaccinated and that sort of thing. It's important to keep that crucial infrastructure in place. That's one example in health. In education, we were able to restore some dollars. Unfortunately, we've been digging a deep hole. There's close to $2 billion that's been taken out of education over the last 6 years of budgeting. When we were in the flush times, we should have been putting that money in education and keeping the levels up. So we started filling back in a hole that's been dug mighty deep. Education needs in the state are great, and it's our future to keep these kids in school, educated, and constantly struggling to meet the challenge of getting to a top-notch education system here in the state. So those were two things that come to mind that were real pluses. Now, I would say to you that we could not have balanced the budget yesterday without the stimulus package from Washington. So I'm very proud of the Democratic Congress people from Georgia who stood up for the stimulus package, who fought for that money and passed that bill to get money coming into Georgia. We would not have been able to pass a budget yesterday without the federal stimulus dollars. And of course that's true for many states across the country. That's why it was so important to get a robust stimulus package. I cannot understand the Republicans from Georgia in Congress who fought against and voted against stimulus dollars for our Georgia economy. We can see in that budget yesterday, stimulus dollars or what enabled us to balance that budget. And we know that that's going to be more money coming for our budget in 2010. That's going to be crucial and vital. We're in partnership with Washington. Those are our tax dollars coming back down, and Georgia is very much going to benefit from the stimulus package. There's no question about it.
Feeding into the 2010 budget the Senate's going to be receiving, I'm sure, in the next little while to get started working on, how is that federal stimulus package going to play into the 2010 budget, and what are some of the things that you want to see focused on as that process goes forward?
Well, let me talk about unemployment. You know, our unemployment numbers continue to spiral. They expect possibly that we'll be in the double digits, over 10% unemployment in this state over this next year. That's a crisis. We have areas of the state such as Dalton and Rome in North Georgia where basic industries have cut back so much the jobs are just vanishing. We have counties that have some of the highest unemployment rates in the nation. Hancock County is 5th in the nation for unemployment as a county. So we have dire needs around unemployment. And I'm happy to say that we've been supporting and working to enrich an effort to bring those unemployment funds into the state from the stimulus package. And that's going to go right into our communities, right into our communities. When you get an unemployment check in the morning, by the afternoon you're out paying your bills, paying the druggist, paying the rent, going to the grocery store, buying the kids' shoes, doing those basic sorts of things, keeping a roof over your head. That's what that unemployment check does. And we are in the middle of passing a bill. I hope it's not going to get off the tracks by some people that oppose stimulus monies. But we're passing a bill so that people who are part-timers will be eligible to draw the monies that they put in from their checks into the unemployment fund. We're going to be looking for extension of unemployment. There are 40,000 families in Georgia whose unemployment checks ran out at the end of the year. We can extend them with federal stimulus dollars. We can extend their unemployment checks up to this June. That's 40,000. 40,000 more families will expire their benefits and not been unable to find a job. So the second part of the year we'll have another 40,000 families covered. That's 80,000 families, and it's over $100 million bringing into the Georgia economy by passing the bills that are going to feed money into our unemployment system. So that's a very important piece that the stimulus dollars are doing, and it's going to help our employers because when that trust fund runs low, the tax on the employers goes up. We want to keep that tax down on the employers keep this money coming into the pockets of those who are unemployed through no fault of their own and who are searching for work in an economy that has jobs drying up. So that's a very important thing to look for. That's House Bill 581, and it's a part of the whole budget picture because it's a part of bringing money into our economy and being sure that we're doing the best that we can for the communities and the families that are so hard hit by this high unemployment numbers. Again, the budget that we will be working on between now and the end of the session for the next fiscal year, the 2010 budget, is going to have to draw heavily on stimulus dollars in order to balance. You know, the budget that we passed yesterday cut $2.3 billion out of Georgia's budget. Now, you're down to muscle and bone when you're looking at the budget at this point. We have to approach the 2010 budget with great care. And let me tell you about an approach that is very important. There's a bill that we're moving through, it's passed the Senate, and it calls for looking at all these tax expenditures and having a tax expenditure report presented annually. What's a tax expenditure? It's when you tell some special interest they don't have to pay tax. Maybe they don't have to pay tax on the ice they use to ice down their vegetables. We could run on for 20 minutes about just listing these tax breaks that got put into the budget over the years. That's about revenue. You know, Georgians don't feel that, we want an even playing ground and a fair playing ground. We need to look at our whole tax structure going forward. But we also need to look at, hey, who's getting a tax break? And it may have been on the books 10, 15, 20 years that they're getting a tax break, and they should be paying the tax like everybody else. They just got a smart lobbyist who got up here one year and got it put in the budget, and it's been that way ever since. So this year, we're working hard to pass a bill that says we're going to include the tax expenditures and take open the windows, bring in the sunshine, and look at who's getting tax breaks for special interest that we ought to address. That's one piece of how going long term we're going to be able to get this budget back on the track.